Hello everybody, welcome back to another video where I talk over a game, and today I wanted to talk about a phenomenon called weaponized incompetence and how, if you are on the spectrum, you are likely to become a victim of that, particularly if you're like in a situation with roommates or if you're working somewhere. You may have already come across this term before, but what it is somebody doing things purposely badly so that somebody else will step in and say, oh, you're so bad at this, let me do it, out of frustration or because they think it's more efficient, etc. And the thing is, as somebody perhaps more likely, somebody on the autism spectrum, we have certain ways in which we like things to be done, and particularly in like a situation where there are certain routines. If somebody does the routine, like some type of chore, badly, we are likely to want to correct that. And if somebody would like to never do that chore again, they could, in front of you, do it very badly, and then have you do it for them because they know that you like things a certain way, and, oh, I'm so bad at it, you're better at it, so why don't you do it? That type of thing. Now, a lot of people are susceptible to this type of thing, because generally we just want things to be done correctly. But if something is done incorrectly, is literally giving you errors in your head, you're much more likely to jump in and go, oh my god, I'll do it. You go do something else, or not even suggest that, just I'll do it. And with roommates, that could mean that you're going to be the designated dishwasher if you don't have an actual dishwasher machine, or you're going to be the one who's taking out the trash, you're going to be the one who does the floors, you're going to be the one who does whatever. And if you have a particularly malicious roommate or a set of roommates, you might be the one who's doing everything because they are apparently incapable of doing everything else, like cleaning up after themselves, picking up laundry, etc. And some people experience this in their marriages as well. It's never a cute thing, weaponized incompetence. It's manipulation. It's forcing chores and work on other people because you're too lazy or you think that you're entitled enough to not have to do those types of things. Like, for instance, what it could look like, people aren't likely gonna go demonstratively say, oh my god, I'm so bad at this, although some people will. Usually it's a little bit more sneaky than that. You may have, for instance, made a document explaining how something is done. You may have made a presentation on the subject with all of the points laid out clearly. You could have made a video. You could have had a call with them separately to explain exactly how it's done. You could have had another call afterwards to explain anything that they may have questions about. So you've done the explaining, it should be clear, but then sometime later it turns out that they're still doing it wrong, even though it's really simple. And at that point you don't necessarily have enough proof to say that they're doing it on purpose, but it is pretty suspicious. But it could look like that. It could look like somebody refusing to do things correctly, without outright saying that they're refusing to do that. They're gonna mess up simple things, repeatedly, pretend that they don't understand, and oh, could you explain it maybe? Could you demonstrate? They're gonna do that over and over again. And then after a while, after you're getting too frustrated with having to explain everything over and over again, you might say, I'll do it myself. And they're like, okay, yeah, it's probably for the best because you're so much better at this than me. Like pretending that this is actually genuinely a good thing because you're so bad. But then you're the one doing their job. And you're thinking, oh my god, how has he managed to survive so far? It's such a simple thing to do. And they're thinking, great, I don't have to do that silly job, let them do it. I don't want to waste my time on such simple tasks like that. And that can lead to situations where you're thinking, why did they dislike me so much? They're always kind of bullying me if it's like gotten to that point, because that happens a lot in the workplace particularly. They're always coming for me for things that I can't control, but meanwhile here I am doing the most work because they're just so incapable. It could be that they're just using you as a workhorse, so make sure to check if what you're doing is actually your task or somebody else's. Now, if there is such a thing going on with you, giving the task back might be tricky because, of course, now they are used to the situation of somebody else doing their work, but technically it's not really your task to do, so you could try just not doing it anymore, perhaps claiming that you're too busy with something else, you don't have the time, and instead of asking them, because this is important, don't ask them to take the task back. I would rather that you say something like, you'll have to do it yourself from now on, because I'm just too busy, I'm sorry. Like, you're just handing it over. You're not saying, would you take this out of my hand, please? You're just giving it to them. Like, here, your task is back. Go do it. And then they could perhaps go try and get somebody else to do it for them, but that's their concern. Well, that's on them, basically, bothering somebody else. But first you need to get it out of your hands. And thinking of that, In some ways, weaponized incompetence can also be turned around. Like, we can see somebody struggling with something, they themselves haven't made any contact with us about it yet, and then we can maybe automatically want to fly in and rescue them, quote unquote, and that person may be happy about that in a moment, but we're doing them a disservice in the long run. If we let people struggle and eventually figure something out for themselves, then that'll be their achievement. You don't have to do the thing for them, and they're learning, basically. I see this a lot, particularly in video games and things like that. Certain people will rush in to help somebody who only has like a small question or just doesn't understand something. It's better to let them struggle for a bit so that eventually they learn things themselves, because if you take it out of their hand, they're never going to connect to, oh, I need to do this in order to get that. So just let them struggle, as difficult as that might be sometimes. The knowledge, once they gain it, will be all their own, and it'll settle in their brain much faster than if you were to just tell them how to do something. They need to experience it for themselves. So in that way, we might also be training people to be incompetent and therefore weaponizing their incompetence, maybe, by keeping them small in certain aspects. So be mindful of that as well. It can go both ways. You can be the victim of weaponized incompetence, and you can victimize somebody else of weaponized incompetence. And in that sense, you're weaponizing their incompetence by stepping in and basically telling them without telling them that they're incompetent, because you're over there doing things for them, which is not a great feeling when somebody steps in to do things for you, because it really makes you feel like you're not good enough to do it yourself. So you don't really want to make people feel that way. So just let them struggle, and only really do something if they explicitly ask you to do something for them. So only on explicit demand should you step in, work things out for them, give them things, show them how to do things, etc., or do things for them. Doing things for somebody else should be the last thing that you should do, the last-ditch effort, basically. But okay, those are my thoughts actually on weaponized incompetence, both ways. Let me know what you think. Have you experienced this in the workforce, in your relationships, with roommates, friendships, whatever? Let me know in the comment section below. I want to thank you for listening and watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.